During a recent episode of her podcast, which for the life of me I can't explain why it even exists, but it does, Republican lawmaker Marjorie Taylor Greene made the claim that straight people are apparently going to become extinct here in the United States within the next 4 or 5 generations. So here's what lawmaker Greene had to say. They just want you to think that all of a sudden the entire population is steadily turning gay or turning trans, just generation. Probably in about 4 or 5 generations, no one will be straight anymore. Everyone will be either gay or trans or nonconforming or whatever the list of 50 or 60 different options there are. Yeah, first of all, let's get something straight. Transgender doesn't mean gay. So let's go ahead and not go ahead and paint with that broad brush because clearly you have no idea what you're talking about. And that just takes this comment of yours to a whole new level of offensive. She just lumps them all in together, right? If you're the LGBTQ community, you're actually just G for gay. Like that's all she sees. It's beyond ridiculous. But I'll tell you what else is ridiculous. The thought that straight people are going to go extinct. Because if straight people were to go extinct, wouldn't that kind of mean that the human race would be on the way out? Not necessarily extinct, obviously. But, yeah. But at the same time, I don't think your numbers are right. In order for your little theory to be correct, we would have to be increasing the number of non-heterosexual people on the planet, right? Not just the United States, and I'll get more to that in just a second, but the planet at such an exponential rate that, again, within 4 or 5 generations, as she puts it, generation typically defined as somewhere between 30, 35 years, so let's go with 35. 4 times 35, of course, is 140. If you add another 45, so within the next 140 to 175 years, straight people totally don't exist, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Again, we're talking about an exponential increase generation upon generation of the number of people that are no longer considering themselves heterosexual. That's not happening. That's not going to happen as far as I know, but even if it does happen, okay, I have no problem with that at all. What we're actually seeing right now is people feeling more accepted, in spite, by the way, of this oppression coming from the right, of this demonization coming from people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. People do, as a whole, feel more accepted, and they're more willing to come out. The number of people, the percentage, it may have increased a little bit, but the reason you're seeing more, if you are in fact seeing more, is because people are feeling more open, and that's a good thing. Nobody should have to hide who they are. Nobody should have to hide their sexuality. Nobody should have to remain trapped in one gender that doesn't fit them. And that's okay. We should accept them, we should welcome them, and we should help them if they want to be helped. Don't force it upon anybody, obviously, but treat them as normal human beings. Treat them like you would treat any of your other friends or your family members. Doesn't matter. Because their sexuality and their sex life doesn't affect your life at all. So let them be, right? That's what the right can't accept. Just let them be. That's all they're asking for. They're not asking for you to change your gender. They're not asking for you to become gay. They're not even hitting on you. Trust me, Marjorie, nobody wants to hit on you. They're just saying, let us exist. But the Republicans can't even give them that. And, as I mentioned, and this kind of refutes her own theory here. She's talking about, straight people aren't going to exist, which would mean, of course, that this so-called wokeness is beyond the U.S. borders, which means it is not something that is uniquely American, right? Which blows a hole in the big theory that somehow we in America are teaching people to be this way. But if it's happening around the world, then that just can't be possible now, can it? But of course, if we start looking at things that way and start applying actual logic to it, then every argument made by Marjorie Taylor Greene and pretty much any argument made by any Republican ever is immediately going to fall apart. And that is why logic is the enemy of the Republican Party, which of course gives them clearance to say some of the dumbest and most bigoted things imaginable. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.